say? Hey, what you say? It's your boy Chef Bess coming at you with another episode of Bess Eats TV. Yay! I just want to tell y'all good folks, thank you for liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell for this new episode that we're getting ready to come out with today. Okay, so I always go home. I'm originally from Savannah, so I always go home and I always wind up getting with some cousins and we got some fish or we got anything going on, but I always seem to be the guy that has to go and clean the fish. Dedicate this episode to how to clean and dress a fish, okay? Right here, we have an Atlantic sheephead, okay? And one thing about it, you can tell it's fresh. You can see the eyes are still clear, all right? So what I'm getting ready to do now, I'm gonna jump straight into it, okay? This fish right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna take the scales off. I'm gonna put it to the side. Then we go into the house. I'm gonna fillet it and dress it and show you exactly what we do. I don't care if you're a home cook or you're a chef. So how to break down your own fish, just in case you have to. Don't get me wrong. You may can go to the fish market and have it already done for you. But if you like me and my family, we always go out on the boat. We want to dress that fish right there and get it ready to go. So when we get back to the house, it's going straight to the grease. Give me a second, and I'm gonna show you a little something right here. Be somewhere, if you're coming off the boat or wherever, you to myself personally, you clean the fish. It's not gonna be pretty. As you see, it's not gonna be pretty at all. So my main goal is to make sure that I get all of these scales off of here, okay? All right. That's it. That's one, okay? This right here is an Atlantic sheephead, number one. All right, I'm not done yet. So this right here is an Atlantic whiting. It's really normally caught off the coast of the low country. We might call it a rainbow whiting, because if you look at it in so many ways, you can see a little rainbow going through it. But this right here is just a plain old Tybee Island, Ossabaw Island whiting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out real fast too. Always go forward. Always go against the grain, not with the grain. The grain is going that way. Always go against the grain, okay? To make sure that you are doing what you gotta do to make sure your fish has all the scales knocked off it, okay? I always said I wanted to do this because, hey, I'm a water baby and I love my seafood, all right? Perfectly clean. So check me out. I gotta get back to the house, all right? You see me pulling down the sweat out here? I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I can't believe it's 98 degrees up here right now. It ain't even much halfway midday. So this is already done. Wow, I'm done. The Chef Bess. We're going back to the lab and do a little math, all right? Talk to you in a few. All right, let's go. So earlier, we were down by the lake. Just got off a boat, trying to catch some fish, but it just so happened I already had some back at the house where I got from my family members down in the Seaport, Savannah, Georgia. So, just go ahead, not to run out of time, let me go ahead, I'm gonna sanitize my hands. Strap up, put my gloves on. We're finna go ahead and get busy. We got some friends coming over tonight to celebrate my wife's birthday. So, I just took a few fish out of the haul that we have just to do a little preview, just to give y'all a little something what's going on. So when you saw me down by the lake, I already had scraped them, scaled them, took everything off them. So now back at the house, I'm finna go ahead and gut them. But I'm gonna let y'all know exactly what I'm going to be doing. Okay, I'm finna show you how to do a heads on and split. I'm gonna show you how to clean and gut one fish. If you want to bake it whole, fry it whole, it's going to be a whole fish, but it's already going to be ready to go. Wash it, season it, and do whatever. You can bake it, saute it, however you feel pleasure on doing it. Then we're going to take that big fish, that Atlantic sheephead. We're going to take that and we're going to fillet that. With the croaker, I'm going to do the croaker like this. I'm going to butterfly it to show you a different perspective on the many ways that you can prepare your fish, okay? So you already know, I already know about my knives, all right? So first of all, let's go ahead. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna go right here with the whiting. So you see this right here? I went ahead and I cut it because when we caught this fish, we squeezed it. And you can tell if it's pregnant because this egg yolk sac will come out, okay? So this fish right here, when we caught it, was pregnant. Okay, so back home where I'm from, this right here is a delicacy. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna just pull this right here out. Okay, making sure I leave everything intact. Okay, this right here is what you would call a fish roe, a fish egg roe. Okay, so that's already done. So now let me go ahead and we're gonna do our thing. All right. So by me already having it gut, by me already have gutted it, we're gonna take this knife right here. We're gonna start here. Okay. You want to penetrate here and break that chest cavity right there. Okay. By me already having it halfway, you want to always take it down to the rooter. This right here is where the fish deposits all of his waste, okay? So I'm taking this out. Okay, taking this out. So I'm gonna discard that. And I'm gonna come here. Okay. If you look right here, I'm gonna make a little slit right above the throat. Okay. I'm gonna open this up. Okay. Open this up. So these are all of the entrails. This is all what the fish eats and his guts and everything like that. Like again, this right here is the Atlantic whiting, caught off of Fort Jackson's down in Savannah. Okay, so get rid of that. So one thing you want to do is you got to get these gills. You got to get these gills. So you come here, you make a little slit. Even if you are not profound with using the knife on how to get them out, but I'm gonna show you how to you just scrape them. Those are your gills, okay? These right here are your gills. Cool. So now the easy part is done. So right here is the bloodline. Okay, I'm gonna take this right here, scrape it out, scrape it out. Don't let me scare you now. A lot of these fish, they carry parasites. You want to be able to get that bloodline out, okay? So here, I'm gonna go over here and wash this out. Okay, you're gonna wash it out thoroughly. Try to get everything left out, all the blood, as much as you can. Okay. All right. So we back. So this right here
I'm gonna take it and you go along the backbone. Okay, go along the backbone. You see me? I'm going along the backbone. You can see the backbone. You just go above that, break it down to the tail, you turn it like this. You always gotta have a good knife, okay? Always gotta have a good knife. Always sharp. Even if you don't have a good knife, you can always take this, which I told y'all in my last episode, which is your boner, your knife sharpener, okay? I'm gonna come now along that same backbone, and I'm gonna lay it open, okay? I'm gonna lay it open. This right here, folks, if you don't know, you go to your fish market. This right here is called head on and split. Head on is the head is on, but it's split. Okay? This is number one. Okay? I'm gonna wash this again. I'm gonna lay this right here. Okay? So, number two. We always got our family familiar Atlantic species. It's a croaker. Okay, this right here is sold commercially. It's like when you first want to go out to take your son or your daughter fishing, when you're down in the southern regions of just say Georgia or off the coast of the Atlantic. This is a familiar fish that you'll always see. So what we're going to do here, okay, this is going to be, I'm going to show you how to take the head off. This is going to be head off and split. You come here with your knife. You go in right here at the throat, and you just pop that. You see how I popped that? I separated the head from the body, from the cavity. All right. So you take your knife like this. One easy slit. These are the gills. The gills are out. Okay. At the same time, you come and you take this knife and you dispose of the head. Did y'all catch that? Cool. Gotcha. Dispose of the head. Then you come right here. You start right there at the breast cavity of the fish and you just let it all go. Now, like I told you prior, you want to take it down. This deposits all of its waste, okay? Then let's open it up, okay? You see all this right here? These are the guts. You're gonna scrape all this out. You have to. Don't let me catch none of y'all frying a whole fish with guts and all. But in my kitchen, it all has to go. And you remember I tell you about this bloodline. You try to scrape as much of this out as possible. Okay? As much as possible. Wash this up. Alright. Gotcha. So now this kick on the easy part. Remember the same way we did the head on? We go right here. You penetrate on the breastbone. Try to get it in there. And you work yourself right along the spine of the fish. And wow. I'm gonna wash this off again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is head off and split. Cool. So now I'm holding on to my rope. So now I'm gonna wash this off. Always keep your cutting board clean as much as possible. But you're dealing with the same type of thing, but you want to be clean about it. Okay. So I was telling y'all about the sheepheads and the drums. All right. I forgot one fish. I have a baby drum, a baby sheephead, outside of the larger ones that you saw earlier. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do with this fish right here. This fish right here, we are going to butterfly this fish. These right here are his fins. They are very sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shears. Okay, I'm going to take my shears. I'm going to clip. It's more easier to handle like that. Okay. All these fins are very important to this fish because it protects it as well. At the same time, wow, I'll get that later. But at the same time, it makes his moves as agile because this is a bottom water fish. Okay, not saying it's a scavenger because it feeds on clams, other mollusks in the bottom of the ocean. Okay, oysters, things of that nature. Okay, so in order for me to handle this a little bit better, I'm just going to go ahead and take all this off. Remind you, these are shears. Shears, always good to have in your kitchen whenever you're dealing with bony fish. One thing about this fish right here, the sheephead is a multi-bone fish. It's a lot of bones running through this fish. Okay, so what we're getting ready to do now. One thing about this sheephead, the reason why it has that name sheephead, because this head is very hard. But by me dealing with this, I mean growing up, before I even got into the industry, I know how to really deal with it, okay? So what we're gonna do, we are about to butterfly this fish right here. So at the same time, the same way we did those fish there, we're going from the back side. We're going here. Okay? And we're going along the spine. Along the spine. Okay? Let me do this one more time. One more time. Gotta look at what I'm doing, the way I'm handling this knife. Okay? If you want to be able to go ahead and get your fish together and do it all right, this is what you need. But you gotta have a sharp knife, okay? Gotta have a sharp knife. We call this butterfly, okay? In the same way that I went through the entrails of that first two fish, you can go the same way out the back, okay? Just like that, okay? But make sure you use your good knife to take away everything that you don't need, okay? So I'm taking out the cavities of the guts of the fish. I'm doing it from the back. Remember I said the gills. This is a more easier way to get to your gills. Okay, there you go. And once you get into the back, it's always easy. Just pull everything out. Just pull everything out. Okay. Look at that. But, remember I said that bloodline, it's easier. You can come right here and scrape all this out. Scrape all of it out. Growing up as a kid, before I even much thought about the military or thought about doing this for a profession, I was raised by one of the best guys in Savannah. His name was Frank Matthews. Frank Matthews Seafood. And he always told me one thing about a fish, it has to be fresh. It always has to be fresh. And this is a fresh fish, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very fresh fish. If you was here now, you can smell the ocean water coming up off it. Okay? This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is butterfly. This is a butterfly, sheephead, or what you want to call a drum. All right. So now we're going to the big boy. Okay. This right here is a 12-pound black sheephead. Down south we call them a drum. Okay. So this fish right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet this fish. I'm going to take away every last bone out of this fish just to have the raw meat. Because like I say, I got some folks coming over later and I got to have all this done within a little bit of time, okay? You see? So I'm ready to go. So, like on the smaller drum that we had, I cut the fins off. So I'm cutting these fins off too. Okay. Cutting these fins off. Growing up around my mom, around both my grandmothers, they were like farm to table back then. You know, they caught their fresh fish, they brought it home, they cleaned it themselves. In certain restaurants, it depends on what restaurant you're going to, okay? But a lot of restaurants, they give you the filleted version of the actual fish, okay? Shouts out to my cousin Rod down in Savannah. Cousin, you rock. When I get back down that way, I'm gonna be ready to go to Osaba so we can catch some of them beautiful things. All right? These, guess what? I ain't finna play the radio. I'm gonna nip around this right here. This is the guide. This is the guide tool right here for this fish. Okay. But right now, having a hard time getting this dorsal fin off. But don't worry about it. I got this him. I've been doing this too long to give up. Okay, so now let's go back. Okay, cool. So now you remember we're going to fillet this fish. So even though I have my fillet knife dealing with the fish of this caliber, I'm gonna need my big boy. Okay, so we're gonna make a little incision right here. The softest spot. The softest spot. How the folks say, you gotta cut it from the rooter to the tutor. So this the rooter, I'm bringing it down to the tutor. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna get in here. Wow. Check this out. I have this fish's last meal in my hand.
What is that? A squid?
No, baby. Look. It's clams. It's crabs. That was this fish's last meal. It had to be a crustacean because I can feel it still in his intestines. See the shells? So it probably could have been shrimp. Could have been a baby crab or whatever it was. You know?
Wow.
Okay. So I'm going in. This right here is the whole intestines lining. I've been doing this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And to me, knowing that I can catch my fish and come home and clean it, and not knowing that it's been sitting in the grocery store for days and days and days at a time, It makes you feel real good. You say farm to table, I'm talking about sea to table. Okay. So here, look at them gills, pretty. That's what you want to see. You want to see that bright red color right there. Okay. So here I go. Get it here. Get it here. This fish right here is not like none of the other fish that I dealt with today, okay? It's a granddaddy, it's a prize fish, okay? Any angler, fisherman will be glad to have this here on their reel. Okay. So, you see me? See how we look? See how we look? Okay. All this is great. All this is great. So now, remember I always say, check your cavity. Check your cavity. Pull everything out that you see. All these intestines, all these bitrails. And one thing about these fish too, they also carry parasites, right? But the parasites are not harmful to you if you clean it right. You see, we have animals that live off of other animals. It's the food chain. Like I just showed you about this fish last meal, maybe with some crabs or shrimp or whatever. It's also something that's living on this fish. Cool? Go ahead and wash this out. I'm bringing the boat to the house. All right, so one thing I was telling you earlier about this sheephead, okay? Look, this fish right here is not really a full-grown adult. You see how big it is, but it's still not an adult. One thing about a sheephead, his teeth, once it's full-grown, will resemble human teeth. So this right here is still a baby, but look at the size of it, okay? Look at the size. All right, so now, I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna take this head off of this fish right here, okay? So one thing about this fish right here, you have to come right here. You gotta work around it. You gotta work around it. So you remember right here where these were, okay? So I'm gonna cut it. Okay. You know where I took them fins from? That's the only way you're gonna be able to get right to do your fillet. Okay. The only way. Oh, don't think this trash. There's plenty of meat in these wings and in this head. So now we're finna go ahead and fillet this fish right here. I have my boning knife. Remember I said we're gonna work along the back of the spine. That's your rib cage. You see that right here coming along? So what you do is you just go along it. Go right along the rib cage. And you're gonna see that union. Like I said, this is a very bony fish, okay? So this right here is the fat. Myself personally, I don't get rid of it. So I'm just trim it off, okay? You can feel right here. You still have some bones right here. If you can see them, see these bones right here? I'm gonna take my knife and pull them out. See? It's a bone right there. When you're doing a true fillet, you do not want to have any bones left in your fish. Normally I would have my tweezers. I left them down there in that boat. Okay. But I know exactly where they are, so I know how to go and get them. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a bone-free one side of the fillet of the sheephead. This is a beautiful fish, ladies and gentlemen. I do agree. This is a beautiful fish. Okay, cool. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not gonna prolong you too much time. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this side out. There's so many different ways to fillet a fish, but I guess my sensei wanted me to know the hard way to make it easy on me later in life. Okay, so take this, and here we go again. The rib cage. You just slightly go over that, break that rib cage. You're breaking it. You're breaking it. You're breaking it. You bring it on over. Take your time though. Take your time. You see that? See that? See that? That's that rib cage. So look what I'm gonna do.
It's getting ready to cut out.
You ain't got to go to the market. I just showed you a brief synopsis of how you can just take that on the boat, bring it to land, and break it down yourself, okay? I'm Chef Bess. This is Bess Eats TV. Hey, we love y'all good folks. Don't forget, hit that bell, like, view, and subscribe. Again, I appreciate y'all good folks because I love doing this. I love doing it. This is a passion. All right? So, hey, I'll see y'all folks in a few days. Something different, something new. I'm Chef Bess, and I'm out here.